Evening, everyone. I am a Napoleon, the host of the Napoleon Show, and avec me, to my left side, I would like to introduce a CPA businessman, Harry Dorvilliers. Harry, it's a pleasure to have you with me and Napoleon Show, and we're going to have a great time. We're going to talk about a lot of things, and especially these days, and all the business you're running in the town too. Can you tell me a little bit about your business?
Well, my name is Harry Dorvilliers, and I'm in healthcare for the last 36 years. And I provide nurses to the community by have someone to their home to comfort them, to make sure that the medication is given and make sure that the family could live at peace in the community.
Wow, that sounds good because healthcare, as you know, we all know healthcare is very, very important. Very, very important for all of us, especially our mom, dad, getting older, and then people who don't have money to afford healthcare, because healthcare is very expensive. It is very important. How long you been in business? 37
I've been in
years?
business 36 years, and I always, it's my dream to help out the community, and the community, it's been good to the business that we are in, which is provide comfort and to the family that's need, they have kids that is on ventilators.
Wow.
They have to go to school and they have to learn sign language. So it is a very, very unique
And challenging.
and challenging field. That's every day that the course is increasing dramatically because the COVID make competitions into the market where the nurses wants to get paid more and more and more.
Yes.
And
But the thing is, having a business like that, a nursing home, and it's really, really important for many community because healthcare is very important. Have a doctor and having able to go see a doctor, it's very, very important because it's one part of our life for so long. Especially we've been fighting for it. Now we got it, and then we don't know what's going to happen. What is exactly Atrium Plaza? Atrium Plaza is, what is it, and where?
Atrium Plaza used to be old nursing home at 240 Winthrop Avenue in New Haven. And the years ago, where the Medicaid was not paying enough, and then most of on the state of Connecticut specifically, the reimbursement rate was not able to meet the demands by paying all the courses. And there was like 95% of the nursing home went out of business. And then up to now, because of the fact that the reimbursement rate, the unions wants increase, and then the employee wants more money as the cost of living goes up.
Yeah,
So basically, the state was not able to really increase the cost of living as the nursing home. Then we have to close down the facilities.
So meaning that the facility, nursing home, is closed now.
Yeah.
And if it's closed now, what's going to happen? Are you still in business, or you have other business somewhere? Because honestly, the thing is not about the business. The thing is about what the business is doing for people, especially people for low income, or older people who don't have money, who happen to be poor, and then who need that kind of help, because having the doctor, having the privilege to go see a doctor is very, very important in our life. And what are you going to do?
Well, I mean, truly, it's not only business that I have. I have a nursing home, a home care agency for the last 36 years.
Do you still have it?
Yeah, sure. And what we do, we provide nurses to the patients who are on the Medicaid and the Medicare who are private insurance. But the way that the system works, you have to make sure you check the primary insurance to make sure that the patient is covered under the code in which the doctor will give you the order to really get the service going. And every 6 months you have to make sure that the Medicaid is still in effect and the patient's still receiving the service, and then the nurses goes there in a practical way. That's if it's the 24-hour service or whatever that the doctor's orders is. But it's a very challenging case by case and challenging healthcare system now, because everything changed for...
Since the pandemic.
Well, not basically the pandemic, but the whole system of healthcare is changing drastically.
Oh wow! But I mean, you know, it is what it is, and hoping that things can go for the best one day, because healthcare is very important in our life. And then you're talking about tax appeal cases vacant in building. So that means we're talking about the Winthrop Avenue New Haven place that you had for so long. What happened?
I have this place actually since 2002, and it was like mostly when the nursing home was out of business, there was an agreement with the town where the town was gonna let the taxes go, undo the taxes. In other words, they want to just forget about the taxes, then you could move on to make the nursing home keep working. And after they changed their mind, and the unions once increased, and then the transaction to become impossible for you to do because it costs more money to really pay all the courses. And the building became vacant, and then since the building became vacant and it's been deteriorated, and right now we have a shell where the city, every 5 years, you have to appraise the land to, but they still keep the property tax as the nursing home was basically in operations.
But this is something you definitely, because you know, is that the only business you have that you had before? Or you still have business going on?
Well,
I'm talking about the healthcare thing, because it's like I'm saying, it's always a privilege to have a healthcare, to be able to go hospital or see a doctor or a nursing home, and then having someone taking care of you and then making you feel comfortable and like I'm supposed to without headache, because you know, as we know, money is almost everything, and then insurance. You gotta have insurance.
Well, you know, the healthcare is increasing dramatically. And that's what the cost of living is increases by 3%. But when COVID come and hit, and you know the state of New York is one of the states that hit the harder, and a lot of people die, and a lot of people on the COVID side, they want double the price of a nurse and double the price of a doctor, basically. And that's what, for you to go back to the healthcare course, it takes a long time. And now, since the COVID left, the mindset of all the nurses that was traveling nurses, they still stick with that rate in their mind, and then the service is not really the same as where the reimbursement rate on most of the HMO can really pay those courses. And that's what creates competitions among healthcare. And that's why we have the market the way it is. Because if you can't afford to pay a nurse like $125 an hour as an RN, they're not willing to go anywhere.
Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know, with me, it's Harry Dorvillier. We'll be back. Well, again, welcome to the Napoleon Show. I am Napoleon, and I'm the host and producer of the Napoleon Show. And I have Ari with me. Ari Devilliers with me. He's a businessman, a CPA businessman, and what do you plan on doing?
Well,
How's life treating you? You're looking so nice. You're looking so good. What's going on?
well, the plans right now is to, have the taxes taken care of, and then we have 128 units to be built on the acre of land, and right now it's the plans is still in the air because the number of units is not enough for the
people.
no, it's not enough to build the 5 acre of land, so we need to have more density.
Oh, wow.
So we need to increase the density by 400 units, and that's
It
what
would be nice because a lot of people are looking for
Housing.
Not only housing, it's the health care,
well, they're looking for health care
but also housing.
and also housing and people with the assisted living.
Yes, this is. I mean, when I was young, I could not understand the healthcare situation. Now, I'm older now, and I'm close to it, and I pretty much understand how important it is to be able to get older, and then you need healthcare, you need a home, you don't have enough money, your income is not beautiful. And I mean, as you know, that's life. Some people get rich, some people get what they have, and some people never get nowhere. But at least living in a great country like the United States, we can figure it out. There's always somewhere, somehow, people will help us. And that's what I always think. That's what makes you feel so happy about being in America. It's like you don't have money, okay, but it doesn't stop you to get a good health care. I mean, and having you as a businessman who have a health care, who are helping people, it's always good for you to have more and more. So what are you going to do in the future?
Well, healthcare, it's something that we all have to go through the process.
Yes.
It's like we born and we have our parents recycle, they live and they die.
Yes.
And then our generation gonna go through the same process.
We're gonna go sick.
Our
Yes.
kids gonna go through the same process. In other words, healthcare is not something that's gonna go away.
No.
It's something that we have to adjust our life and then promote and understand that it's not your time yet, but it's gonna be your time soon. And that's what, it's not something you can turn your back off. You gotta always think about your retirements. You gotta always do some planning on your estate planning, what you're gonna leave for your next generations. In other words, for them to live, and how you can really produce something that the society can be built off and be beneficial of. And that's what, when someone is having someone that's really don't have that much to live, that's when the person need the more family support. And our generations, a lot of the family, they think to abandon their father, they abandon their mom, they abandon the kids because they want to have to go someplace else and live. While the mom, that's when they need the more comfort, because if they are single
When they're getting
parents,
older.
yes.
Yeah, that's happening now because, I, not to experience, but I have friends working in a nursing home, you have a mom or dad all alone by himself or herself, and the children live in California or in Europe or in Paris or far away. They came once a year. Sometimes they never come to visit, and it's really, really painful for these people. And I'm so happy that I have, because one thing I want to say to many people who are listening now, my audience, go see your doctor. Sometimes, it's good to go see your doctor if you have the privilege. Every 6 months, every year, go for a checkup. Do you know I have friends who pass away because they ignore the doctor's order?
And they live their life and they believe that they're super
yes,
person.
And they get sick and sicker and get too late and they die. I lost a friend of mine the other day, 53 years old. He had a situation with sugar, and he couldn't take care of this thing since he was 30. The doctor could keep telling them, guess what? He ignored the doctor. And sometime he came out, he said, it's too expensive, man, to go see a doctor. Every time he went to go see my doctor, they have to charge me $300, $400, blah, blah, blah. Insurance don't want to pay. And also, if he doesn't have insurance, that's worse. And boom, that happened. The things get inside him, killing him slowly. He died before his time because he never really followed the doctor. So I want to say to all my audience, like Ari was telling you, go see your doctor, go visit your doctor, follow your doctor order. If you have to do something, do it. If you have to go and take a walk, go take a walk. If it's possible to spend more time with your people, with a friend, because you don't want to be alone, you feel too lonely, go do it. If you're getting older, you need help. Going to a nursing home, it's good, but sometimes it can be very painful. Am I right?
Yeah, but the problem is, it's just the way we as the society functions. We are more selfish instead of giving. Because as the family, we have to educate the kids how to love their parents and not to leave their parents alone how we were living in the third world countries. Well, and what happened is, it's just, we were so much eager to make money, and greed. Sometimes it's not mostly greed, it's mostly the expenses that we endure, that the bill that we have to pay, or the activities that's involved in our life.
Working.
We don't have enough time for leisure. And the way the system built up, and it built up to really make us really more selfish among ourselves, instead of giving love to our loved one, to our family, to our daughter, to our son, and that same thing happened to your friends, because he doesn't have time to even go to a doctor, where every night he could really go have a good time. In other words, he needs to understand, without his health, he won't be able to really continue as the machine for the next day. So that's what you have to see your doctor to see, where are you today?
Yes.
What is your plan for the next 6 months? If your sugar, it's balanced. If you have any type of disease,
follow the
doctor's order of what they tell you to do. If you have some medication prescribed to you, make sure you follow the prescriptions. I mean, you don't really be yourself, because the doctor said you suffer from whatever that disease. You make sure you have a planning, a long-term plan. In other words, the doctor said, please take your 10 milligram medication for high potential. Make sure you take that 10 milligram, it's for your good, because they want to keep your pressure under control, 120/80. Is that the goal of the doctor? That's the reason they prescribe you that little 10 milligram, whatever that medication is.
That's why.
So therefore, you need to follow the professional.
That's why they call it healthcare too.
No, it's not only healthcare. Whatever profession that you went to get a professional advice, you must follow the professional advice, that whatever field that you're in. If it's a broker, you follow the advice. If it's a doctor, you follow advice. If you have a tax problem, you follow the CPA. If you have an engineering problem to build up a house, you follow the engineer, whatever that profession is, that you follow the instruction of what they tell you to do in the long term.
Very good advice. Like I said, everyone, it's very important, because I remember once, let me tell you something one day. I remember one day I was driving by one of my friend's neighborhood, but I wasn't living there. And I saw this beautiful home, little beautiful home, but it's always like not clean at all. I was like, anybody living there? And my friend told me, hey, old lady living there. And then I said one day, can I knock the door? And she came out once in a while, pick up, but she probably like about 80 some years old, lost her husband. Do you know what I did? And I was feeling so proud of doing this. I went out to her house and I said, can I just cut your grass for you and clean a little bit for you, your front door and everything? And she said, oh, that would so be nice because I cannot do it. And then we have a conversation. I said, what about your kids? He said, oh, they live so far away. My kids move on, sent after college, went to somewhere in far away, Texas, and then they don't come here often. And I help her. Guess what? Every day she come out. When I'm passing by, she would call me. She said, would you come over one day? I went inside her house. It wasn't very clean, but it was okay. And I helped her out. She had a coffee with me. She gave me a piece of cake. She was talking. She said, thank you very much. Thank you for helping me.
It's because she's lonely.
I was like,
and then she doesn't have no in terms of life. She believed that she...
Guess what she said to me? She said, I have not seen and feeling love for a long time. I get up, I shower, and then if I were going to go see my doctor, somebody pick me up, and I come back to my home. Thank you for the love. I look at my window now, it's clean. I say, hey, you could have someone to do it for you. He said, hey, you do it now. And after 6 months, even a year after a year, I asked my friend, where is she? And I found out she's still alive, but she just go to a nursing home because she's not gonna there. It's like it's very important, and like I'm saying to all my friends and anybody who are listening to us now, listen to your doctor. When you come to healthcare, take care of yourself. You go to work. You're afraid to pay the doctor, or you're afraid the insurance is gonna charge you a lot of money, and then guess what? Something about your toes, something about your head, something about your body, something about your finger. You could have just have the doctor taking care of you, and it's too late now. Guess what? Boom, it gets worse, and you pass away. Or something is not working. You're in a wheelchair. Take care of yourself. Exercises. Free your mind. And thanks, Ari, for coming to the show and bringing this beautiful subject to the Napoleon Show, because healthcare is very important. Anything you want to say to all of these people who are listening to you as a businessman, as a CPA businessman, and can you tell me a little bit about any more business you have?
Well, my advice to anyone who are listening is just, we have so many experience. I myself, I am a supervisor for 21 years. And then Friday we were talking, and Saturday during the day I received a phone call and they said she went to the hospital, she didn't make it. So we all see now, we know that we suffer from some type of disease. So make sure that we follow the long-term plans, because if any negligence you could make, not taking the medication for 5 days or 4 days, anything can happen, and you're gonna be sorry, but nobody will be able to help you because of the fact you don't listen to your professional advisor, which is your doctor. And it's very important that you make sure that when the doctors give you that order, that's what the government giving you the privilege to have, or your healthcare provider giving you some type of comfort by get your medications or pay for your service. So if they pay for your service, don't take it lightly. Don't take it for granted. Make sure that if you really need it, that's the reason why the doctor prescribed it to you.
Well said. Well said, because that was your business. Because one thing we want to talk about also, which is it's also good for healthcare, and a lot of people leaving, their husband pass away, the kids leave the house, and they end up being in their own home because they don't have to work anymore, and house pay off already, but the kids not there. And my advice to Go see your mom. You 40, you 50, you have work, you're working, you have 2 kids, 3 kids, a husband. I understand that. But you're living far away. I understand that. But also, it's good to call. If your mom living all alone by herself, or even if she's in a nursing home, give her a call. Call her. Call him. Go visit him. Go see her. Go give some love. That will make a big difference in their life. Because I have friends working on a nursing home telling me stories that is so sad. She's been there for 5 years, never had a visitor. Did she have kids? Yes. All they are doing, waiting for her to die so they can take over the house and everything. I don't want to say that, but it's what it is. I'm telling the truth.
We're not going to put it that way, but what we need to really teach or communicate to the family is to make sure that your mom will stay your mom, your dad will stay your dad.
Come visit them.
Whether you like it or not. Only thing they need you to do is to at least give them a call.
Love.
Be in their life daily, and their life weekly, and their life bi-weekly. Whatever that you can do, a phone call away, make that person feel better. And not only the professional that's really care for them.
Yeah.
They want your attention to make sure when you talk to the nurse to tell, please, I want you to care for my mom that way. I want you to really make sure the medication is given. That leaves somebody there to supervise that care in their behalf. Because some of them, they have to sign a proxy where somebody has to really make the healthcare decision for them. And they need you as that proxy care to really make the last decision, because they could be in coma. If they have to bring their lives to an end, you have to be more responsible, more involved, to really show that you care and be the manager for your mom and be the manager for your dad, to make sure that everything is accountable, and every medications, everything that the doctor, the nurses, all the support that there is in this, and the long-term plans are executed for your mom to live the life and the comfort that they deserve.
Yes, again, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, we're talking about healthcare now, and we're still going to talk about healthcare. I still got with me Ari, going to be here for another 20 minutes with me. Would you? Yeah, he's going to be here for another 20 minutes with me. We're still going to talk about healthcare because it is very important. It is very important to talk about that, because experience, I'm not there yet, but experience life, it's very important. Sometimes mom is sitting home alone. Nobody can take them out. Your parents go out for a walk to the beach, go out for a walk to the park, going out for a walk for dinner or coffee, have a special talk, bring the grandkids over. It's very important. A lot of community is not doing that. Just leave mom home. Mom is almost 80 years old. You still got to cook. You still got to do everything. Yes, but what about taking care of her? What about the love that never ask him the question, Mom, would you like to go out today? Mom, would you like to do something? It's very important. We'll be back. Back again with Ari. As you know, it is a very good subject to talk about, because getting old, it's a privilege. Going to 70s, 80s, 60s, whatever age, because some people just die early, some people accident. Thank God we're still alive, we're still breathing, and when people getting older, what I mentioned, because I was there watching my mom passing away, and she was 80 years old, and also, but the house. What about the house? Who's coming to take care of the house? Because you remember before I was saying I went on to help this lady because her property wasn't looking good, and she's too old. She doesn't have any money. And what happened? And would you tell the audience and what is the best way to do things?
Right now, you have to understand everything is the technology, and the old generation cannot cope with the cellular phone, with the computers. So even to take an appointment with the doctor, to keep up with all those appointments that's required by those specialists, because you got to do blood tests in one center, you got to go to the pharmacy to take medications, you have to go to do an MRI in a different address. So they need time management for someone who are in charge of that, which is not the caregiver, like a family member. Once the family is involved into the care of their parents, the mom or the dad seems to live longer because they have to keep with the doctor's order, and they have the luxury to really have someone that could really accompany them, take them, do the applications for them when they get to the doctor's office, make sure they communicate if they don't speak English very well, if they don't know the whole system, to make sure if they have a step-down Medicaid that they could pay in advance for the fund, or if they have a house, then they have to really prepare that if they're gonna be poor, for them to transfer the asset to the family. So it's a lot of planning that has to be done in order for the family to really expend the rest of their life in a nice comfort home, or prior for them to transfer it to the nursing home. You know, it need a lot of planning. And that's what, when you have the families not involved into the mom, it's a problem.
Well, it's going on everywhere. Well, what we're talking about now, what we're trying to explain to people now, it's going on and everywhere in this country, all over the world, where people get older and they don't have anybody, especially they are lonely. In loneliness, it's a very, very bad thing. You got to come out. It's my advice to everybody. If your mom's getting old, dad getting old, it's the best way to come visit them often, call them often. Sometimes drop the kids to them, which is very important. When you drop the kids, they say, oh, go spend the weekend with grandpa and grandma. And then make sure you ask questions. What do you want? Do you want this? Do you want that? Do you have milk, enough milk? Because if they're not in nursing home, they're home, they need help. Especially if they cannot drive anymore. You understand? I already, as a CPA businessman who had a nursing business before, I'm so happy you're here to talk about this situation, because it is important to let people know that keep your eye on your parents when they're getting older and live by themselves. You know, follow the doctors, and then also it's very important what you just said now, because I had a friend of mine, one day I was talking to him, and I said, why don't you tell your mom to go to the computer? He said, Mom don't know nothing about computer. Mom can't even use the cell phone. You know, keep talking about it.
It is the system right now, because even the doctor, for you to make an appointment, you have to go to their web page. It's like if you have
for driver license too.
To get to a driver license, you know, to log in, you have to really make sure those old generation doesn't know the computer system. So therefore, it's always need help to really address, to make sure that your mom have a doctor's appointment, your mom has an application to be complete, the mortgage has to be paid, even though they don't have a mortgage, but the tax has to be paid in the house.
Yes.
So they have to cope with all the maintenance of the house, and they have to cope with their lifestyle, and they need your help. And that's what you cannot leave mom and dad or pending, or even with the kids, because when you're getting older, you become a kid. Well, so you need that attention from your son or your daughter or your loved one, or it could be a neighbor that's really involved into that person's life that they need someone to assist them, to help them out, to really can cope with the new technology now.
It's not that only. It's only if you have kids, children who have a mental problem or a handicapped problem, or need a chair. It's always good to be patient and give them love, because a lot of them sometimes they went out with a question because they feel lonely. They are home by themselves. They don't have no friends. Take them out.
The friends are moving to different state.
Yeah.
And they
Take
be
them out.
lonely into their own home.
If the weather is nice, take them out.
And that's the reason why they choose to go to a nursing home, because they cannot stay in the home by themselves because there is no management into the home.
No, it's very important, talking about this, because a lot of people don't understand why people go to nursing home. A lot of people don't know why mom and dad go to nursing home, because they cannot do it alone. They're losing their mind. When they, mom, what day is day? Oh, I don't know. What, mom, do you remember my daughter's name? Oh, I forgot. That's the reason why they go to nursing home. But also, if they were living with you, they probably be better. They probably understand everything.
But the way that system is, the mind need to communicate
Exactly.
every day to really have a challenge to remember things. So if the mom stay there, nobody to talk to, and they have to have someone to really remind them when is this appointment. Take a walk out the street, go to the park, enjoy the time that they have there, instead of just call and say, well, I'm gonna place you in a nursing home, and make that parents getting worse and worse instead of help.
My life right now, I'm on TV. I have people who call me, watching my show, and call me and complimented me. But also when I visit them, I look at them. I have a friend of mine who was sick one day, and she could not do nothing. And guess what? One day I surprised her. It was a Saturday. I came up and changed my clothes, packed my car, and then cleaned for her. Cleaned her front, cleaned her back, and everything. And I was so happy doing it. I was so happy helping her. And then when she came out, and I look at her face, the smile, and it was like breathtaking, because she's so happy to see me doing it. Reason why? Because she was happy. She was happy, and she could not do it. So it's always good not to leave your grandparents, even your neighbor. If you have a neighbor getting older, what's the big deal? Knock the door, po, can I help you? Do you want anything? Do you want me to go and get you some food? It doesn't have to be your mom. It doesn't have to be your family. If it's a neighbor, is close to you, if your house is burning, believe me, she might not be doing anything, but believe me, he will call police 911 and save your house and save you too. So always keep your eyes on your neighbor. Always keep your eyes on elder people. Always keep your eyes on people who can't help themselves 100%. Harry, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Anything you want to say?
Well, you know that we all gonna be aging. It's a matter of time.
Yes.
And we have to always think about our parents, from the first generation to the second generation to the third generation.
It's like a kids. You remember?
You become a kid as you get in age.
Oh my God.
So you need to have someone in your life to help you to do those daily activities.
Do you know why I say that? I'm sorry for stopping you. It's like I went to some nursing home with my friend visiting their mom, their auntie, and she's 86 years old, and I'm looking at her, she's like a little baby. She's not a baby, but she needs help. She needs everything. She needs to get some water for her, get the food. And I was like, oh my God. It's just, you see the body when she was young, getting nursing by mom, and now she's getting older, 80-some years old. She's laying down in the bed and turn around to be a baby again because we got to help her.
Well,
Blessing to all the nursing out there. I myself want to say that. Blessing to you, Harry, who have a nursing home to helping these people. And blessing to all these entrepreneurs. And blessing also to all the nurses and all the people who are working at hospital, helping the elder people who can help themselves 100%. I want to say that blessing to all you guys, nurses, all the nurse and people working in the hospital. What do you think?
Yeah, the firefighter, everybody that's really...
The police department. Oh my God.
departments.
Every police everywhere in this country, because sometimes you have a problem, the first person come to your door is the policeman.
You need
To understand that. No matter what happened, before the firefighter show up, 911, who's at the front door? The police.
You need all
Blessing to all the police.
need all the service that's
servicemen.
needed for the community. That's really help us in our daily life, because without them, we won't be able to get the community moving.
And the news network too, you know.
sure.
Sound View Community Media, which is I'm sitting here. Without them, I will not be able
to communicate, to pass the message.
You know,
really,
it's blessing to all of them. Blessing to all the people who are sitting in front of TV talking about what we need to survive these days, and all the help we are giving to the community, from the weather, bad weather, good weather, and where to go to get help, where to go to get something you need, and when to be out, when not to be out. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Ari, my question to you, you're still in the business, right?
yes, I've been in business for 36 years old.
Yeah. Well, where is you located again?
I'm in New York, in Connecticut.
Blessing to you. Blessing for you for helping all these people. And I'm saying blessing to come to the Napoleon Show and the Sound View Community Media. And you're welcome to come back again, because we need to talk more about healthcare. And a little bit question, a small question I'm talking about. I don't really want to go there. And would you be able to explain to people Medicare and Medicaid?
Medicare, it's 65 or 67, whatever the government requirements
65
are.
right now.
66 and a half. And then Medicaid, it's for people who are needed. In other words, if you're poor, you cannot support yourself, and the government, it's give you you are a needy, called Medicaid.
But the statistically qualify for Medicaid, that means you are not making more than $20,000 a year.
Well, you have to understand, healthcare is very costly.
Yeah.
So if you're not able to pay your rents,
you're in trouble.
I mean, if you make, like, some people could be on $50,000, cannot even. It has to be on Medicaid.
They have three kids and everything.
They have to.
Or a mother living with them cannot support themselves.
It's
That's Medicaid.
It's Medicaid.
And statistically, the other day I
if
found
the
out
employer doesn't provide health insurance.
Do you know 75 million Americans rely on a Medicaid?
Because it's the Medicaid system. It's funded by the federal and by the state. So if you don't have the private insurance and the PPO, you have to really enroll into the Obama healthcare, where you need to have the health insurance.
But you have to have a job too.
If you have a job, the job is provide the health insurance, where you have to contribute on it, or you have to have Medicaid.
But you're not getting everything you want to.
It's not that. Medicaid cover 100%.
Yeah, but Obamacare?
Now, the Obamacare, you have to attach an HMO into the plans.
That's kind of a little bit money.
Everybody's
little bit money. This is $2,000-3,000 out of your pocket. And sometimes people, I find out a lot of people talking about, well, I never get sick, but I'm paying. My wife, my kids, we never go to hospital. We never go see the doctor, but we are still paying.
This is how it works.
And it's just like a car insurance. You pay a car insurance for 20 years, but you never had an accident. And by the time you figured it out, I pay $1,500 for my insurance every year. 20 years after that, that's almost like $30,000. But you never have an accident. So you have to have insurance. You have to have insurance.
This is how it works, actually. It's when you pay taxes. So the first three things that the employer has to provide for you, they call Social Security taxes.
Okay.
So, and that called 6.2% for the employee and 145 on the Medicare, another 6.2% for the employer and 1.45 for the Medicare. And by the same payroll, you have to take, the employer has to really have what they call by unemployment insurance taxes. And they have to pay workman compensation taxes.
Because it's what everybody's talking about. Till today, the word out there, the subject out there is Medicaid.
I'm not going to understand.
I'm not going to go far from that, but it's on every channel, major channel TV, every home, every table, dinner table, every dinner table, every dining room now, it's Medicare, Medicaid.
The reason why is because the new plans that's going to present to the president, they cut Medicaid.
Okay. All right. This is like, okay. Now we're talking about a little bit Medicaid, because a lot of people don't know, especially people who came to this country a few years ago, or probably been here for a long time ago, or young people who don't understand what is Medicaid, Medicare. Talk to people about Medicare.
Medicare, that's what I was trying to elaborate. When you start working, you're 18 years old, you pay taxes every quarter. When it's your payroll, and your payroll taxes, you punch your card and your employer pay you every 2 weeks. And that payroll taxes, there was 6.2% for the Medicare. I mean, for the Social Security, it's when you're 66 and a half, then you're gonna receive your Social Security, or you could get it at 62. Or if you have a kid that is born with a mentally disabled, they receive their Social Security until the last breath.
But if you get your Social Security, let's say you retired yourself at 62, you're not qualified for Medicare.
No, Medicare, you prepay Medicare.
Oh, you
In
are
other words,
prepaid.
it's Medicare is prepaid. That's what they call Medicare taxes. In other words, Medicaid is for needy Medicare retirement. Because Medicare now will pay your hospitalizations. He will pay when you're 66 and a half. That's when you qualify for Medicare. You could take Medicare until 62, but you have to meet the requirements.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, as you know, it's the Napoleon Show, Healthcare Today, and many of you probably don't understand what is Medicaid and what is Medicare, and now you understand. Harry is telling us, because Harry is a big, he's a CPA businessman. He got his own nursing home care business, and he's been there helping the customer. I'm so happy you're telling people, because a lot of people are getting confused lately. A lot of people retired at 62, 63. Some of them retired at 64, but they always want to know, am I qualified for Medicare? And if anything happens, it depends. If you can't retire, depend how much money you have, how many your wealth.
You could really, if you get to an accident, if you cannot work anymore, or the employer doesn't, you cover you in the workman compensation in your home, in your house, in your job, you could apply for Medicare early retirements, because the doctor said you cannot work anymore.
But if you are able-bodied?
If your body is physically able, then you could work. That's really the doctor is not going to meet that requirements.
So you're not qualified for Medicare?
No.
You probably will qualify for Medicaid,
will be qualified
if you don't make enough money.
Yeah, if you're going to be qualified for Medicaid.
But when you're on Medicaid, you turn to 65, That means you're no longer on Medicaid anymore. You qualify for Medicare.
You could have both. You could have Medicaid and Medicare.
Oh wow! Because
Because
they're not different, but they're two different things.
No, Medicare it's for people who are retired.
Yes,
Medicaid is for people who are poor.
So you can
But
get.
it's,
Oh, okay.
it's
Okay.
funded by the
It's,
state.
it's like a mother with 4 children. They're young and she cannot go to work, and she's in Medicaid. Medicaid will pay for her home, food, rent, everything.
That's just a different scenario because as you're getting older, now you be responsible by yourself. You're not on your mom umbrella anymore because they have requirements after 24 years. If you're not in college, you cannot be on your mom responsibility. So therefore, if you don't have enough to provide for themselves, that's what they give low income. They give housing for low income family.
They used to call them before welfare.
Well, I don't really want to call the names,
Yeah,
but all I'm saying to you, they have housing for low income.
Yeah, low income
housing,
does mean you're not making that much money.
Yeah, they have rent stabilized.
You probably have a husband or living with you, and both of you making $35,000, and it's still low for both, and you have 2 kids. That's understandable, But this is what made America great. I always say that. This is what made America a great country, a good country. I'm not going there. I'm not going too far away because healthcare is very important. When you're poor, you have a government to help you. It's always good. And one more question I have for you, Harry, because you all put it right there when I want to. And that's exactly, last night before I came here, I said, I need to have Harry because I need to explain, because a lot of people, and every house is right now, these days in America, talking about Medicare, Medicaid. And when are you qualified for nursing home?
Well,
I don't know if this is a good question.
It's not a question.
I don't know if it's a good question.
It's not a question.
When you have to go to a nursing home.
I'm sorry. It's not a good question. You qualify for nursing home.
Okay. All right.
Your policy could cover anything.
No, I'm talking.
In other words, it's like you see a doctor is specialized and let's say in heart.
When do you know that you have to go to your family, the doctors, or your kids know that you have to go to a nursing home?
When there is no help, when the family do not fail to take responsibility of being the backup to care for you on a daily basis.
Okay.
That's where they decide to bring you into the facility. At least the facility will make sure that you go to sleep, your care is being managed. And that's what they led it to a facility instead of you being home. So it's been discharged basically by the doctor after you discharged from the hospital. They say this candidate, they could go home, but I believe it could go to a special care for the rehabilitation.
Because a nursing home, they get 24 hours health service. That's very important. Again, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, good evening, welcome to the show, and then beautiful show with my friend Harry is here. Harry, anything you want to, I'm going to let you talk, and whatever you want to say, whatever you want to come out and say, and I'll be happy to listen to you, because this subject we're talking now, the healthcare, if you can say more about healthcare, please feel free to talk about it, because a lot of people, a lot of families, a lot of dining room people in the dining room now, their dining room are talking about Medicaid, Medicare, when to go, when to follow the doctor, because a lot of people are not following the doctor. As I said to you, I have friends of mine and friends of my family members who die because they don't follow the doctor's instruction. They don't take their pills. They refuse to go to hospital. You refuse to go to I'm fine. I don't feel, you got a cough. The cough is keep going for 2 weeks. Oh, I'm going to have some ginger. You hear that? Then boom, they don't want to go see the doctor. Things get worse.
You don't want it to be too late.
Too late.
Okay, so that's the main goal. So that's what is preventions. Make sure that you exercise. Make sure you follow your professional whether is a nurse that in your home that's supposed to give you medication and the treatments in every day of your life. Make sure you follow the care plans that institute to by your son, by your family, by the professional who really prescribe the medications, and make sure you go to the pharmacy. You don't let, if it's for 30 days, you don't let it pass 31 days. You don't let it pass 34 days. You make sure you have enough inventory into the counter for you to really.
And also, Eric, those who are smoking, follow your doctor. Follow your doctor when you're smoking. When the doctor told you, do not smoke, quit, please do that. When your doctor told you, do not drink alcohol, please do that. Because I have friends' parents who die because they keep drinking, they keep smoking, and it gets too late, like Ari said. Ari, I'm at the end of the show now. We have a few minutes to go. Anything you want to say? And I want to tell to my audience, thank you, because this is one of the nice topic, nice subject we talk about. So happy to have you.
So
anything you want to say?
You don't want to suicide yourself. That's what you do. If the doctors don't smoke, you continue smoking, you suicide yourself. You kill yourself in your own slowly, gradually, and that's going to happen.
Follow the doctor's instruction.
You have to be able to understand the doctor is not against you. The doctor is someone that there to really explain to you what the cause and effect of your health if you do this. If you drink too much, what is the cause? If you smoke too much, what is the cause? What's going to be the end result? If you have cancer, how many days that you're going to live? So therefore, you need to follow the instructions
the doctor.
And make sure that you take your medication and exercise.
Ari, it's an honor. It's a pleasure to have you on the Napoleon Show and some of your community media here. We appreciate it. I want to see you again. I want you to come back again and talk about healthcare. I think healthcare is very important, especially these days to talk about it. The Napoleon Show, thank you very much. Ari with me here, Ari Dorvilliers is a businessman, CPA businessman, and then he's going to come back again, and I'm sure you will be you coming back to talk to me about it. And mabdi tout mon communauté a merci. Tout samedi, salut, mabdi samedi, très important.
It was a pleasure having you as my audience, and thank you.
Thank you, Ari. Thank you. A pleasure.